Yes, here we are once again. This, of course, means it is Wednesday. It is noon Eastern time. It's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. We're here every week, live and video on demand. Of course, Facebook, if you want that, Temptations Beach, check out that page, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel as well, and at Temptations on Twitter. Of course, the podcast, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Podbean. Get your High Noon Hemp Show. If you just want the audio version, maybe as I've said before, you work out to us. That's great. Get your goal. I'll try to be motivational throughout the show so you can, hit your stride or whatnot. As you can see, it is Happy Hempsgiving. It is also episode number 150 of the High Noon Hemp Show. They said it wasn't last. Here we are. I'm Aaron Jesus. He is Beach, high above the Temptations in Sharonville at the Hemp Quarters. Beach, how are things in this 150th episode of the High Noon Hemp Show?
Super hempful, I would say. Welcome, everyone, to the Hempsgiving episode of the show, and 150. Wow, I mean, it just blows me away. We've done 150 of these things. It's true. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you're watching live, I am on the YouTube Watch Live. If you are on there and you have any questions for me, and you can ask questions on Facebook, yada, yada, yada. It's true. This is the High Noon Hemp Show. It is high noon on Wednesday, and I am high above the Sharonville location in the High Noon Hemp Show studios, which I've never said before, because I don't think I actually call my studios the High Noon Hemp Show studios. I believe they're actually Planet Everywhere studios. All my movies that I produce come from Planet Everywhere studios, or maybe Jedi Hemp Studios. I don't know. I'm just glad everybody's here today. Gonna have some good food tomorrow. Celebrate the Native American side of Hempsgiving, not the European side. And so anyway, we will be, as far as Temptations going, we will have a Green Friday. We'll have some Green Friday sales. We will probably celebrate Small Business Saturday on Saturday, and then participate in Cyber Monday as well. I will try to update the the homepage at hemptations.com. To the right on the homepage, we have all the events and everything that is pertinent to us. We will be closed tomorrow. It is one of the only official days of the year that we are in fact closed. And so all my employees, the employees, can also celebrate. I am hempful for them. And I will talk more about Hempsgiving in my Beach Thoughts part of the show. I actually do have a question I'm going to answer at the end of the show, and then I'm going to talk about Hempsgiving or my Beach Thoughts on Hempsgiving. Anyway, for now, let's get on to the product spotlight. I think that, there'll be a little bit more cannabis consumption tomorrow, as there probably normally is, as people are dealing with their families and the stress of it all. And so I think the high hemp wraps might come in handy. So you sneak out back at your parents' house if you need to, or maybe your parents are cool and we can only help. Multiple flavors. They say that there's CBD in them. I don't know how much CBD or not is really in these papers, but you could, pick up your CBD flower, and then there would be CBD in them when you roll. That's for sure. I think if you wanted to maybe slip somebody, calm somebody down at the party, you could slip them some just CBD gummies. They may never know. Just be like, hey, have a couple of these. It's I think I read that it's usually an uncle that causes the most trouble at Thanksgiving celebrations, and so slip them to old uncle that's going to cause troubles, and see if you can calm him down a little bit maybe. This next one, CBD Daily Cream. There's a little bit more on this, and I will answer it again for the question. But This is definitely a good facial cream, hand cream. Just a little bit of CBD, not a whole lot, but a little. And so, again, this time of year, especially in Cincinnati, depending on what part of the world you're in, obviously, it gets dry. And therefore, we need creams and balms and whatnot. I've been trying to key on that the last couple of weeks because I believe the cold is officially here and not going away for a while. And then for that special dish, you want to sneak some CBD in, throw in some Dude Seriously hot sauce. Maybe you do wings for Thanksgiving. We usually, if we stay at home, do Cornish hens for Thanksgiving. This again does have CBD in it. It's pretty hot. I will have to say, as someone who likes spicy foods, it's decently spicy, so it wouldn't take a whole lot. But if you make that spicy dish for your food gathering tomorrow, I like it's probably what we should call it. It's the only reason I ever participated in Thanksgiving is because I would go home and my mom would have the most greatest selections of food on the planet, just like most people, I mean, and so, I think we could just as much call it Foodsgiving Day as anything. That's for sure on that one. And then the one from my house, not related to Hempsgiving at all, I suppose, is my desk at home. And so, if I build shelves, I fill them up. Now, this picture must have been taken a while back because I should get a current picture and show you how there is no empty space on this desk anymore. No empty space. Like I'm trying to figure out how to clear some of the stuff off of it to make empty space so I can put more stuff on it. Because that's how it goes. When I build with hemp, it's true. So hey, there you have it. The product spotlight. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, as I like to say.
Which, of course, brings us to the not as yet award-winning, soon-to-be award-winning, any day now award-winning, greatest internet segment of all time. It's not
Somebody nominate us for an award.
That's right. There's got to be some sort of award that this falls under, some sort of category. So let us know or nominate us or whatever it takes. We need the awards. So I don't know if Beach does. I crave them. That's what I'm here for. So I've been doing 150 episodes to finally get an award for something. In any case, it is time for the Beachwear segment. I ask Beach a very important question. He gives me a very important answer. And if you're watching the video, you see his answer as well in picture form. When I ask, what are you wearing, Beach?
That's right. I have decided for, good old Hempsgiving to show you a nice, elegant, classy outfit.
Nice.
A dress-up outfit, as one would say. Trying to break out my hemp sweaters more this winter because I have a lot of hemp sweaters. And so we'll be seeing a lot more of those on the High Noon Hemp Show. We haven't seen them in the past, that's for sure. But on top there, I've got a classic head case hemp hat. Boom, boom, boom. A hemp hoodlam jacket. As I said, it is cold here. I probably could have worn a thicker jacket than that even. But I do have this lovely Just Natural sweater on. Underneath of that is my Young Maven long sleeve. I've got my hempest pants. Nice pair of hemp pants there for dressing up a little bit, I think. Hempy's belt. And then, of course, my Green Springs Technology pen, which I usually tuck in, but I've been throwing out for this so you can actually see what it looks like. And I have a couple of those that I interchange as well. As far as my briefs go, classic, you've been seeing a lot of these recently, I think, my Hemptopia briefs. And then on the old feet there, we've got some Satori socks and a pair of Adidas. And I think those are the Sambas. I think that's the Samba version. I was talking about this last week, how I used to know all the different kinds of Adidas. Again, a lot of people would just call that an indoor soccer shoe, which is what I believe is the Samba came about mostly for was indoor soccer, if I was to guess. And look up the history of Adidas in their shoes. I don't know. I might be making that up too, because I don't know. So there you have it. If you're wondering, how do you dress up for those times when you need to dress up, Beach? There you have it, on the What Are You Wearing Beach segment of the High Noon Hemp Show. Now, I might interchange my hat with maybe even a little better hat, but you know what? Sometimes 9 times out of 10, I go with the old ball cap. I've been wearing it less these days because my hair is shorter. But I'm pretty much a standard hat wearer. So it is what it is. My mom would be like, no, no, no.
Before we get to the news, we do have a Facebook comment from Randy Beach. He said, "Some uncles are troublemakers, but I find nephews to be more of a problem."
Well, I think there's a circle there that was created long ago. So it's true when it comes to family. Maybe the nephews are sometimes the instigators. Thank you, Uncle Randy, for checking in down at NC. Hopefully we will see you guys soon. Wish everybody a Hempsgiving for me. Regular users of hemp, my family is at this point.
Indeed.
So cool. I like that. You can pop the question right up on the screen too. Man,
Right.
we are like classy.
Exactly.
Classy these days, man. This show is evolving like I wouldn't believe.
Edible Ohio Valley checking in for a compostable dinnerware. Indeed.
Yeah, right. Get that for your family gatherings. Love it. I did talk about the plasticware, I think, maybe the straws last week.
Mhm.
But we do have sets of hemp tensils, as Amy Paul says. Shoes never. We'll save those for the holiday. We'll save those for gifts even. But
Right.
you're right. One can never have enough pairs of shoes. As someone who likes to think they're a minimalist, I have a maximum. I have a maximum amount of pairs of shoes and hats, for that matter. But all hemp, of course. All right. Well, let's get on to some news here. Love the comments, folks. Keep them coming. This is really cool. A company called Phylos, and I think I've seen these guys. I think they're more on the CBD side of things, possibly, but Phylos Bioscience is working with the National Black Farmers Association and Oregon State University to provide 1 million hemp seeds to Black and Indigenous growers and farmers. Last week, I reported that there was a farmer in West Virginia that gave away 500,000 hemp seeds in the state. Bioscience obviously said 500,000. Let's do 1 million, and let's keep them from the white people, which I love. No offense to all of us European white people, but I love the fact that this is only for Indigenous and Black growers and farmers. So that's really neat and conscious. If I probably was to guess right now of all the hemp farmers in the United States total, I bet less than 10 to 20% would be a minority group. And so, we'll shore up those numbers as we should. Here's a really cool hemp house that was built in Israel. And this was again a environmentally friendly project. As you can see, all of the solar panels on the roof, and then everything mid-level is hempcrete, and then all of the stonework was actually done from stones collected at the building site. And so, once again, utilizing what they had and minimizing their footprint in the future, and by using the hempcrete, and I think they said there was 9 families that live here. So this is kind of like a communal house. It's not just one person's house either. There's 18, 20, I don't know, kids, how many people are actually going to live in this house? But, which to me is even greater than just knowing that maybe like, a couple and their kids are going to live there, because it's a pretty decent sized dwelling, obviously. And so this is, this is going to house many families. It is going to have, a negative carbon footprint in the long run. And everyone, everywhere, should use this as a pattern, especially if you're building somewhere that's got a bunch of rock, or it looks like it's kind of into a hillside almost. I don't know how much real buildable space is left over there. And so anyway, good stuff. Hemp being investigated as an environmental cleanup for the gold mines in South Africa. Yes, do it. Not only is digging these vast holes and filling them full of chemicals and dragging out this little bits of gold, same as the diamond mines. Diamond mines aren't as big as gold mines, I don't believe. But I think they can be. But I feel like the destruction on the soil and the land is probably pretty rough. Hemp is a known phytoremediator. Okay, what that means is it pulls the bad stuff out of the soil as well when it's growing. And so it has been used over in Europe. I think, I don't know if it was actually used at the big nuclear site over there. Chernobyl, was that what it was? No. Yeah. I think, I don't know if they actually studied it there, but I do know they actually studied it somewhere where they were pulling bad stuff out of the soil, and it worked. And we know it worked. Anytime, honestly, that we need to clean up the soil anywhere of contaminants, we should grow hemp for, say, maybe fiber. Do the studies, find out whether those chemicals actually go into the fiber or not, possibly. What does the plant do with those chemicals? Would it be safe to eat the seeds of a hemp plant that was pulling cadmium out of the ground? I doubt it. I don't know. I don't know that we'd want to. And so, again, I think we could still grow it, I think, for the fiber, or possibly, the bark, the bast, to use in the hempcrete. But I definitely know that even if, the plants were destroyed after, in one way or another, I think the real question to me is, okay, it pulls it out of the ground. What does it do with it? And what happens at the end of the plant's life? How much of those chemicals can still cross over? And so they may have to destroy those plants naturally, or in some way safely, once they've brought the chemicals out. It'd be interesting to see for sure whether it gets into the fiber. Because if it doesn't get into the fiber, then use the fiber. If it doesn't get into the bast, the outer shell, use it. If it doesn't get into the leaves, if it doesn't get into the seeds, it's got to get into something. It can't go from the ground into the plant to nowhere. I'm pretty sure that would be scientifically impossible. So anyway, if it went into the leaves and all we had to do was destroy the leaves at the end and use the rest of the plant, so those are definitely things that we need to find out. And then we need to start planting hemp in all the soil that's been destroyed by over chemicaling, herbicides, pesticides, or whatever, and so yes, it should work, and hopefully they'll clean up the South African gold mines and shut down and stop doing that. Like that would ever happen unless they ran out of gold, which they don't think they'll do, because they just dig all the way through the planet looking for this stuff. Anyway, so there is a racing team called Romeo Ferraris, and they're building an electric car, and they're going to use hemp fiber in the bodywork. We have seen this before, cars using the hemp fiber, BMW being the most notable. Porsche built, I believe Porsche used hemp in their electric sports car that they were building. At least I know they were working on putting it in one of their sports cars. Um, and so, it lightens the vehicle. It's just as strong as I'm pretty sure that the science shows it's just as strong as, any type of fiberglass that you would probably use in those molded situations. It's got to be stronger than plastic if they're using semi-long fibers because it bonds better. And of course, they don't have to drill for oil if they're using that whatever composite that they're using, if they are using the hemp oil and not just the fibers. And so, we're going to see more and more of this, I think, popping up. I would love to see like an everyday vehicle, somebody make an everyday vehicle out of the body out of hemp. If it ran on hemp, that would be great, but very difficult to fuel because we need hemp seed oil for that. And there's a high demand for hemp seed right now. And because of its nutritional value to humans, not because of its fuel opportunities. Once we have an overabundance of hemp seed, then we'll see more people actually maybe using hemp as a fuel. Using hemp, we are starting to see more seed oil being used in composites, which is great. And so, there's two great reasons right there for the seed oil: human consumption and plastic. It's not plastic because there's no petroleum in it. It's just a composite that's comparable to plastic. So let's do all that, as I always say. Here is a pic of a hemp linen duvet cover. This is a company called Buffy's. I don't know anything about them, but they're using hemp in some of their bedding, and it is on sale. Still not that cheap, but it is on sale at their website. And again, the company's called Buffy, Buffy, and they have other. I think they were doing kind of comforters. Was kind of the theme of this sale that they're having. Again, with the cold weather coming in, it makes sense. I just bought a new hemp comforter shipped from the Ukraine. But it took 3 or 4 months to get here but I love it. I mean, it's not thick, but it still keeps me warm like I need, like I want, because I kind of tend to keep my room a little on the cooler side. So I rely on my blanket to keep me warm. And of course, this is a non-alcoholic drink. But, if you want to participate in drinking with your friends for Hempsgiving, or possibly tonight, because tonight is like the heaviest drinking night of the year. Of course, it's usually the bars here in the United States that are jam-packed the night before Hempsgiving. But this is River Organics, and it's a sparkling hemp sangria. So, and I think that I saw that it's non-alcoholic. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I know that it is. It was on the list of non-alcoholic soft drinks, so to speak. I say because they're soft, they're not hard. So it really would be a soft drink. But if you like your sangria and maybe just don't want the alcohol, there you have it with a little bit of hemp, which is good for you as well. This was interesting. I've been doing a little bit more research on Native Americans because of the property that we were hanging out on, which was, in fact, had to be 100% a Native American settlement anywhere between 2,500 to 500 years ago, because there were Native Americans in that region from 2,500 to 500 years ago. They know for a fact. But when I was doing this and I was looking, there was this list of, again, how they referred to some people, and you have the Tuscarora, which became the hemp gatherers or the shirt-wearing people. And of course, the most interesting thing about this, because it couldn't have happened before 1722, is that they make reference that it did happen after 1722. There was no hemp in the United States when the Europeans showed up and the Native Americans lived here in mass groups all over. We pushed the Native Americans west, and we brought hemp with us. So these must have been literally some of the first Native Americans that took to hemp, because they obviously started growing it and gathered it, and then started making clothing out of it like the Europeans would have. So they learned this behavior from the Europeans. And then, of course, I'm sure they were pushed off their land, and the Europeans came in and started farming the same hemp without them. And so, for those of you that don't know, I've, obviously seriously mixed emotions about the European introduction of humans into the Americas. I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't be here if it didn't happen, but it sure was not done correctly in any way, shape, or form when it comes to humanity. Say what you will, and I believe, and I've looked it up, and I'm pretty sure that I have found some Native American blood in the Beach family from the Lenape, which they're sometimes known as the Delaware Indians. Some of the first Native Americans to have been kicked off their land, but they came across northern Ohio. I found where Mary Cloud actually married into the family. And so I've always embraced that little bit of Lenape blood in me, for sure. I learned the truth about what the European invasion of America really was. And what they teach us in school is all happy. Nobody really did anything wrong.
Yeah.
Look at all the treaties we made with the Native Americans, and they totally agreed with all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, we never held any of those treaties. The Native Americans' ideology on land was they didn't own it. They didn't have possession of their land. So they were willing to share it with the Europeans, which proceeding into taking of. If we would have just kept the sharing, just share everywhere we were, just share with the Native Americans that were there. Man, it would have turned out so much better for the Native Americans, instead of, practically being eradicated as a human society, large and small. Anyway, this is neat to see, from a positive aspect, at least for hemp and Native Americans, that they, obviously embraced growing hemp, and then, realized that, hey, it does make for a good shirt. They were probably wearing animal skins. It's hard to say on that part of the country if I'm sure they were weaving cotton or something. I don't know for sure, though, because cotton weaving comes more from South America and Mexico as far as the natives. And so I think that this part of the country with Native Americans was mostly clothed with animal skins. And so anyway, there you have it. This last bit here, 41,000 square foot hemp processing facility, bought by someone I believe in Australia. And but they're looking for interest, and I don't know if they're looking. They just developed this. Again, the machinery's up, it's running. I don't know if they're looking for somebody to run the place for them, buy the place from them. They said they just acquired it, so I would assume that they're looking possibly for someone to run it. But if you're in Kentucky, and I don't have any idea where this is, I'll have to go back and do a little bit more research. They didn't, this is a Facebook page post to one of my hemp pages. They have a real phone number possibly, which is 859-583-3220. Again, if you're in Kentucky and possibly looking to work for or invest in a hemp processing, 41,000 square foot hemp processing, get a hold of them. 859-583-3220. I'll try to get that number up on the website for anybody who is interested. All right, there's the news for this week. We got a little bit of events coming up, not a whole lot. December 1st through the 3rd, finally, the Hemp at the Crossroads is coming to Plainfield, Indiana. This is kind of a fun one, so I added it. December 4th, they're going to do a hemp wreath workshop in Seymour, Connecticut. And I'll try to get that up. December 4th, the hemp wreath workshop. I used to make grapevine wreaths with my mom. She was an award-winning grapevine wreath maker. Wow. I grew up in Kentucky, and we would do grapevine wreaths and then take them to craft shows. And I do remember, I know she placed in the top 3, at least with some of her designs, and probably won one. Another thing I did as a kid that my mom was really good at, because she was really good at everything. She was cross-stitch. She'd enter cross-stitches into events, and I know she won a first place in that. But anyway, if you're interested in some wreathing up some hemp, which I think would be kind of cool, I suppose, that's in Seymour, Connecticut. And then that's really February 28th through the 1st is the 4th annual Industrial Hemp Summit virtual. So I'll talk more about that as it gets closer. The question that I want to answer that I saw online actually is can CBD hemp cream reduce the appearance of my wrinkles? And I would say that the science would say yes, because of its anti-inflammation properties. That is, most wrinkle creams, that's what's in there. Something that's supposed to take away inflammation that causes the wrinkles. And so, our customers use CBD for its anti-inflammatory / pain relief. And so I definitely believe, because I have used the happiness cream on my face, believe that CBD cream would in fact help with wrinkles. And again, you put that CBD cream in hemp oil, and your skin is never going to be happier, honestly, because you have all the nutrients of the hemp oil, which benefit the skin and the body, and then you have the benefits of the CBD, and the two together. I'm sure it'll be the next miracle anti-aging cream, and I hate the term anti-aging, I really do, but it'll be the next big breakthrough in anti-aging creams is actually going to be CBD and or hemp oil. We're already seeing large companies kind of hawk that, on commercials on TV. So, yes, I do believe that CBD hemp cream would help with the appearance or disappearance, I should say, of wrinkles, dry skin, all that, for sure. Especially once again, like I said, if it's in hemp oil, which you could just take our CBD oil, which is in hemp oil, and just rub a little bit, in there, or add it to whatever facial cream you're using now. Mix it in a little bit and use it one way or another. So, all right, well, everybody, Hempsgiving's tomorrow. My real thoughts on Hempsgiving is I am super thankful for hemp. The holiday itself is, again, convoluted and questionable. Luckily, that is one positive thing we always learned about Native Americans growing up, was that they were nice to us when the Europeans were starving, and that's why we celebrate Thanksgiving. There is just as much, of course, a Christian reason we think Thanksgiving, because there are many Christian holidays that are actually Thanksgivings. And this one just kept the name Thanksgiving. And so, once again, mixed emotions there. The best thing about it is the food. There's no doubt about it. But you know, Hempsgiving wouldn't exist without the Europeans coming over, us being here. We should all celebrate everything about the whole situation, be more respectful to everything and everyone. I suppose if you're coming together for food, then it seems so weird that it's such a controversial holiday because I don't know, the families get together and everybody acts like an ass or whatever. And I'm like, again, you're forgetting the whole reason for the whole get together to begin with. We should be thankful for the things that we have all around us. And I am, most thankful for, my kids, my love, and hemp. For the most part. And, hemp has played a huge part in my life, no doubt about it. And I am sure, again, back in the day, hemp probably played a bigger part of Thanksgiving than it does now, one way or another, which, we've kind of lost that part too. I don't know how much research can be done on how much hemp was actually used back in the day. But, it was a colonial thing. Obviously, there were sort of Native Americans that took to it somewhat quickly as well. And so, those are my thoughts when it comes to Hempsgiving. We should all be thankful for hemp because in the long run, it may be one of the only things or the one thing that truly can save the planet. And so, be thankful for hemp. Maybe even add it to a dish. I have seen some dishes. Whether you're sprinkling hulled seed on top of your whatever casserole, using hemp oil maybe in your salad dressing if you have salad. There's definitely a lot of ways that you could add hemp, incorporate hemp into the holiday day, from table linens to the food products. So, thanks everybody for watching today's Hempsgiving episode of the High Noon Hemp Show. We will be back next week for the final episode of November of this year. Again, celebrating. I am thankful for 150 episodes of the High Noon Hemp Show.
That's right.
And so I am thankful for all of you watching and all my customers that have ever come in the stores and supported the stores. There's a lot to be thankful for. And I think about those things on a daily basis, not just once a year. And I encourage everyone else to do the same. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.